News Central now at this hour begins in South Africa, where there have been mixed reactions from opposition parties, civil groups and individuals on the Phala Phala report that was handed over to the Speaker of the South African Parliament earlier this week. According to Section 89 of the report, President Ramaphosa is said to have violated his oath of office, which he denies doing. Opposition party Good Secretary General and Member of Parliament Brett Herron says Ramaphosa should not be bullied into signing on the basis of untested findings of the independent panel in respect of cash stolen from his farm. Meanwhile, the president has since withdrawn some of his engagements. He was set to address the nation on the report last night. According to the presidency spokesperson, Vincent Magwenya, the president was still consulting and considering what's in the best for the country. Now, to speak more on this, we are joined live by Vuyo Zungula from the African Transformation Movement Party and Brett Herron, Good Party Secretary General and Member of Parliament. Thank you for joining me on this conversation at this time.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. All right, let's start with you, Herron. Your party released a statement saying Ramaphosa shouldn't be bullied into signing on the basis of untested findings. Can you take us through on the basis of untested findings? Can you take us through what this means? Because many thought that the panel had done their work thoroughly to bring out these findings.
Well, the panel's responsibility was to assess whether the president has a case to answer, not to decide that the president has in fact breached the Constitution, the law, or committed an act of misconduct. And so the findings are actually recommendations that the president has a case to answer and may have committed a breach of the Constitution, or may have breached the law, or may be guilty of serious misconduct. And those are the tests that our Constitution requires before a president can be removed. So these are not findings of guilt, they are findings that there's a case to be answered. And on that basis, we say that calls for the president to resign on the basis of a recommendation that the matter be further investigated is premature and would destabilize our country at a time when we need stability.
All right, let me move to you, Vuyo. What do you make of the Good Party's statement?
Look, we are sitting in a crisis as the country, and the crisis that we're in a crisis because Mr. Ramaphosa is the person that committed all of the wrongdoings in Phala Phala, and the panel has said, based on the evidence that was before them, the evidence meaning what we submitted as a party, including other parties, including the responses from the president may have seriously violated the Constitution, committed acts of misconduct, etc. Now, what that effectively means, it means that on Tuesday, when the parties debate there, they must debate in order for the impeachment process or the further inquiry to determine whether the evidence that was there in front of the panel does amount to the president being impeached. The president is not guilty of anything at the moment. But what is critical that the findings of the panel is saying that there is sufficient evidence to believe that he may have done so. So what we're saying is the ATM, once there is that cloud over a president, the president must resign because it does not send a good image to the South Africans and the international community that a person may have seriously violated the Constitution and he is let to continue as if nothing happened.
All right, I still want to remain with you, Vuyo. The National Executive Council is taking place as we speak. What is the probable state of mind of the president right now? Will his party call him out to step aside?
Look, the president must not be made to think about his own political party because he's committed transgressions. This is a process.
Okay, so Sorry, I still need to cut in there. We also understand as an update that it's been postponed. So, but what do you make of all of these events at the moment?
Firstly, this is a matter that the president has to consider the interests of the nation that expects a president to be beyond reproach and has the confidence of the entire society that he's an ethical person, a person with integrity who can be trusted to govern in the best interest of the people. Now, what is happening in the ANC is testament to how they do not put the interest of the country first, because had they done so, them themselves as an organization would have held the president accountable and would not have waited for Parliament to issue, to take part in these steps to hold the president accountable. They would have held him accountable as a party.
All right, I want to go back to you, Heron. Apparently, it appears like you don't believe that the president did anything wrong. But he has come out, several times saying that there was a robbery at his farm and he did not report it. What do you make of that statement?
No, I think you've got it wrong. What I'm saying is that none of these allegations have been tested through a process like we're conducting for the Public Protector of South Africa, who was accused of misconduct and incompetence, and also had an independent panel make a prima facie finding that she had a case to answer, and she's currently engaged in answering that case. So I have not said that I don't believe that the president has done anything wrong. I've said the president himself has denied that he's done something wrong, and the panel was not able to test the evidence. It says so itself, that they didn't test the evidence. They merely solicited evidence, solicited the president's response, and concluded that the president has a prima facie case and may have breached the law or the Constitution. If it is found that the president did breach the Constitution or breach the law, then he should resign if he isn't impeached and removed. But the point right now is that there's been no finding against the president, and he's in the same position that the public protector was in before we started a process to interrogate the charges that she faces and to assess whether she should be removed from office for misconduct. So
all right.
I'm not saying that the president has done nothing wrong, and I'm not going to get into the evidence that's in dispute or in the report, because I have no first-hand knowledge of it. But reading the report, it is very clear that the panel makes no finding on the truthfulness of the allegations.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, gentlemen.
Thank you.